Seeing my first spirit. My grandpa's brother. I will speak of my first spirit sighting. I remember things from when I was about 3 or so. Due to trauma, but I believe this thought will never leave because even as a kid I knew that this was a person and I wanted to communicate and be held. I remember being in a playpen and seeing this happy couple stroll through my grandpa's sunroom through the wall into the living room. They were linked at the arms like an old married couple going for a nice evening stroll. Of course I threw up my little arm to be held. And they looked back with excitement and tried to pick me up, which was impossible because they were spirits. My grandpa kept asking me what I was doing and all I wanted was to be held too. Of course he put down the plans he was working on from work and held me as he looked around confused. A year before my grandfather passed, we talked about this and he looked freaked out. I still remembered I told him to get out old pics of his family. Well, there stood my Uncle Harvey, full Navy uniform, and I said that was him. He told me that was impossible. Harvey had been dead for about 2 years to the point of that day I did that. It doesn't freak me out anymore. Something crying in room. An hour or so ago, my boyfriend comes out of the bedroom and tells me he heard something crying at the end of the bed. I was thinking he was like having some sleep paralysis thing until he tells me what happened. He was laying down and said he started hearing sobbing, sniffling, whimpering and etc. He said he thought it was me sitting outside the door crying. But he said it was too clear for me to be outside door. And that, he thought I must be sitting at the end of the bed. So he looks up expecting to see my head, but when he looks up nothing is there. With that he says, he jolted up and turned on the light. When he came out, he said it must have been me doing the dishes. I think he was trying to explain it to make himself feel better. I wasn't doing dishes. And was actually not even in the house at the time it happened. I was in the garage doing laundry, cause when I walked back into house was around the same time he came out of room and told me. And even if I was doing dishes, I don't know how that would explain the crying sounds. Needless to say, it freaked me out. Anyone have something similar? A homeless man tried to kill me as a child. My dad used to work at a homeless shelter. He usually just helped them find jobs and such. When I had to go with him, they left me in a room with a bunch of Disney VHS movies. And with some printout coloring pages with a bunch of colored pencils. So, a lot of these people were drug addicts or recovering that or schizophrenic. I was there because my dad left something there. But I wanted to go to my room, which the nice lady there called the room. My dad was talking to this woman outside the door, which was closed, then the door locks. All I could hear was screaming, crying outside. The knob fucking shook and I walked over to unlock the door, but my gut told me that if I did it would not be good. So then a guy began to bang on the door, screaming for me and calling me baby girl. The police came and I didn't know what to do. When they heard a very loud gunshot followed by my dad screaming for them to stop shooting. Due to me being behind the door, he stabbed the woman who had used her keys to lock me in that room and did not make it. I was okay in the end, but I just remember a very nice cop opening the door and covering my eyes while they took me outside to an ambulance. R.I.P. Miss Rose, and thank you for saving my life. I am eternally grateful. Homeless man, let's not meet again.